What if I told you that every person around you is revealing their innermost thoughts, fears, and desires without ever speaking a word? What if you had the power to decode the unspoken signals, the subtle shifts in tone, the fleeting gestures, the untold stories behind their behaviors? Welcome to Krathen, where today we uncover the ancient art of understanding the unspoken. Stick with us, because by the end of this video, you'll hold the keys to unlocking deeper connections and truly seeing the world as it is, not just as it appears to be. Part 1. The Power of Silent Communication. Silent communication is a universal human phenomenon that transcends words, shaping the dynamics of every interaction. It operates through gestures, micro-expressions, tone shifts, and unspoken cues that often carry more weight than verbal statements. These subtle signals provide a window into people's emotions, motivations, and intentions, allowing those who are observant to connect more deeply with others. Body language, facial expressions, and tone form the trifecta of nonverbal communication. For instance, a slight raise of the eyebrows can indicate surprise, skepticism, or even amusement, depending on the context. Similarly, changes in vocal tone can reveal confidence, doubt, or even deceit. Take Elon Musk during high-stakes interviews. While his words may be measured, his body language often reveals his thoughts. A slight hesitation in his speech, coupled with a thoughtful gaze, can indicate that he's deeply processing a question. On the other hand, his quick, assertive responses with steady eye contact often signal confidence and mastery of the subject. Observing these cues provides insight into his decision-making style and thought process. Micro-expressions, those fleeting facial movements that last only a fraction of a second, are particularly revealing. These involuntary actions can betray someone's true feelings, even when they are attempting to mask them. Recognizing these requires attention and practice, but can be transformative in decoding emotions. Consider former President Barack Obama during his public speeches. His composed demeanor often conveyed authority and calmness. But micro-expressions, such as a brief furrowed brow or a momentary smile, gave away his genuine feelings about the issues he discussed. These small cues helped audiences connect with his authenticity, even when tackling divisive topics. Changes in tone, whether abrupt or gradual, act as indicators of emotional states. For instance, when someone's voice shifts from steady to faltering, it may suggest hesitation or unease. Conversely, an energized tone can reflect excitement or passion. Consider Jeff Bezos during Amazon shareholder meetings. A slight uptick in his tone when discussing innovation signifies his enthusiasm for new projects, while a measured tone when addressing financial stability conveys seriousness and reassurance. Such tonal shifts provide stakeholders with critical insights into his priorities and concerns. No single gesture can tell the whole story. Instead, clusters of behaviors create the larger narrative. Crossed arms, when paired with a tapping foot or frequent glances at the exit, suggest impatience or discomfort, whereas crossed arms with a soft smile and relaxed posture might indicate contentment. During international diplomatic meetings, leaders like Angela Merkel have demonstrated the importance of body language clusters. Her signature hand gestures, like the Merkel diamond, hands forming a diamond shape, convey control and authority. However, when combined with a slight lean forward, they suggest approachability and attentiveness, showcasing how silent signals can create balance in communication. In my professional experience, recognizing and interpreting body language has transformed tense situations into productive conversations. For instance, during a critical negotiation with a major stakeholder, their crossed arms seemed to indicate resistance. However, Noticing their frequent nodding and occasional finger tapping suggested they were actually processing the proposal and feeling intrigued rather than defensive. Addressing their underlying curiosity with, "I sense you might have questions about this approach," shifted the discussion into a constructive dialogue. Such instances underscore how silent communication, when understood correctly, can bridge gaps even in high-pressure scenarios, fostering collaboration rather than conflict. In high-stakes scenarios, the ability to read nonverbal cues becomes crucial. During moments of crisis, individuals often reveal their truest selves. Silent communication provides insight into their state of mind, allowing leaders to respond effectively. In 1962, during the Cuban Missile Crisis, President John F. Kennedy relied heavily on observing Khrushchev's tone and body language during exchanges. Reports suggest that Kennedy noted subtle hesitation in Khrushchev's messages, interpreting them as a willingness to negotiate. This nonverbal cue played a role in crafting responses that ultimately de-escalated the situation, highlighting how silent signals can influence outcomes on a global scale. Understanding silent communication isn't just for CEOs or diplomats, it's a tool for anyone seeking to improve relationships. By becoming attuned to gestures, tone, and unspoken signals, you can identify what people feel and think beyond their words. Start small. In your daily interactions, observe the body language of a colleague or friend when they discuss topics they care about versus those they don't. Note the differences in their gestures, tone, and posture. Over time, these observations will sharpen your ability to interpret silent cues effectively. Silent communication is a universal language, spoken through subtle gestures, fleeting expressions, and tonal shifts. By mastering this art, you gain a deeper understanding of those around you, fostering connections that words alone cannot achieve. The power lies in seeing what others overlook. Part 2. Tell me more, building trust. The phrase "tell me more" holds incredible power in any conversation. It is not merely an invitation to elaborate, but a signal of genuine curiosity and openness. When used sincerely, these 3 words create a safe space for others to express themselves fully. This approach shifts the dynamics of communication from conflict or misunderstanding to empathy and trust. At its core, this technique taps into a universal human need, the desire to be heard and understood. When people feel that their thoughts and emotions are acknowledged without judgment, they are more likely to share openly. This transparency fosters a deeper connection, turning even contentious discussions into opportunities for growth and understanding. Key mechanism: de-escalation of conflict. Tell me more diffuses tension by redirecting focus from confrontation to collaboration. Validation. It shows that you value the other person's perspective, even if it differs from your own. Insight gathering. Encouraging elaboration allows you to uncover the motivations, fears, or values driving someone's stance. Consider former U.S. President Bill Clinton. Known for his exceptional ability to connect with people, Clinton often employed an empathetic approach during debates or tough negotiations. By encouraging others to share their concerns fully, he not only gained a clearer understanding of their positions, but also built rapport. His ability to genuinely listen and respond made his interactions memorable, even with political opponents. In the corporate world, leaders like Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, have emphasized the importance of empathy in leadership. Nadella is known for his approach to difficult conversations by creating environments where employees feel heard. Asking questions like "Can you elaborate?" or "Tell me more" has been part of his strategy to understand different perspectives, leading to more inclusive decision-making. During a family disagreement about how to handle a shared property, tensions were high. My brother felt strongly about selling, while I was leaning toward keeping it as a family asset. Instead of escalating the argument, I decided to say, "Tell me more about why you think selling is the right decision." To my surprise, this simple invitation opened the floodgates. He shared not just his financial concerns, but also his feelings of being overwhelmed by the responsibilities tied to the property. By the end of the conversation, I realized his frustration stemmed from deeper fears of failure and a need for simplicity. This understanding helped us work toward a solution that addressed his concerns while preserving our shared goals. The beauty of this approach lies in its ability to transform conflict into collaboration. Instead of focusing on winning an argument, it shifts the conversation toward understanding and problem solving. Oprah Winfrey is celebrated for her ability to connect with guests on an emotional level. One of her signature techniques is inviting people to share more of their story. Phrases like "tell me more about how that made you feel" or "what happened next" allow her to uncover profound insights that resonate deeply with audiences. This approach not only builds trust with her guests, but also creates moments of vulnerability and authenticity that leave a lasting impression. Incorporating "tell me more" into everyday conversations requires a combination of active listening and non-judgmental curiosity. Here are actionable ways to apply this technique effectively. 1. Replace assumptions with questions. Instead of assuming why someone feels a certain way, invite them to explain their perspective. Example, if a coworker is resistant to a new idea, ask, "Tell me more about your concerns with this approach." 2. Be patient. Allow the other person to fully articulate their thoughts without interruption. This patience demonstrates respect and fosters trust. 3. Use neutral body language. Pairing the phrase with open body language, such as uncrossed arms, nodding, and maintaining eye contact, reinforces your intent to listen. Tim Cook, Apple's CEO, is known for valuing diverse perspectives within his team. By asking for more details and insights during team discussions, Cook has built an inclusive culture where employees feel empowered to share innovative ideas. Michelle Obama, during her book tour for Becoming, often spoke about how she and Barack navigated disagreements in their marriage. She emphasized the importance of listening to each other's deeper concerns. Using questions that encourage elaboration helped them resolve conflicts with empathy rather than defensiveness. Saying "tell me more" signals psychological safety. Research in emotional intelligence highlights that people are more likely to open up when they perceive the listener as empathetic and non-judgmental. This openness creates a feedback loop where vulnerability leads to understanding, and understanding fosters trust. Studies in interpersonal communication reveal that active listening can increase trust and collaboration by up to 40%. This effect is particularly strong in conflict resolution, where encouraging elaboration helps uncover shared values and common ground. The phrase "tell me more" is deceptively simple but profoundly impactful. It turns everyday conversations into opportunities for meaningful connection, transforming misunderstandings into bridges of trust. Whether in personal relationships, business negotiations, or political dialogues, this approach fosters empathy, collaboration, and growth. By adopting this mindset, you not only enhance your relationships but also gain a deeper understanding of the people around you, making every interaction an opportunity to build trust and strengthen connections. Part 3. Observing the past as a lens. Observing the past as a lens means understanding that a person's experiences shape their behaviors, attitudes, and even their fears and motivations. By looking beyond surface-level actions and instead considering the underlying history that influences someone's choices, we can interact with more empathy and patience. This perspective doesn't excuse poor behavior but provides context, helping us approach others with greater understanding and tolerance. Every person's reactions, preferences, and insecurities are intricately woven from past encounters. For example, someone who is hesitant to trust others may have endured multiple betrayals, which formed a defense mechanism over time. Recognizing these layers can transform our reactions from frustration at their standoffishness to understanding of their need for safety. Consider former U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who led America through the Great Depression and World War II. Roosevelt's own experience with polio and the physical limitations it imposed shaped his resilience and empathy. Understanding his past struggles reveals why he could connect so effectively with the public and advocate tirelessly for the underprivileged. His personal hardships added depth to his leadership, making his policies feel both compassionate and empowering. When someone consistently acts a certain way, it's often due to ingrained patterns from past experiences. This doesn't mean labeling someone based on a single past incident, but instead viewing their actions as part of a broader story. In the business world, observing the past can be pivotal in understanding an executive's approach. Take Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, who shifted the company's culture toward inclusivity and collaboration. His own immigrant background and experiences navigating corporate hierarchies likely informed his push for a culture where every voice is heard. Nadella's policies reflect empathy for those who may feel marginalized, showing how past experiences can shape current leadership styles. Understanding someone's history helps us interact with patience and respect, particularly in personal relationships. If a friend struggles to commit to plans, it might stem from repeated past disappointments. This knowledge can help us be more understanding, creating a safe environment where they feel valued and respected. A friend, whom I'll call Jane, often hesitated to join group outings. Initially, I assumed she was disinterested, but after a conversation, she revealed she had faced multiple instances where friends canceled plans at the last minute, leaving her feeling undervalued. With this understanding, I adjusted my approach, making sure to follow through on commitments and reassure her that her presence was genuinely wanted. Over time, Jane grew more comfortable with making plans, knowing she could rely on me. Empathy deepens when we acknowledge that people are shaped by the sum of their experiences. By understanding their journey, we build patience and avoid jumping to conclusions. British singer Adele has often spoken about how her music reflects her personal history, especially her struggles with relationships and self-identity. When fans listen to her songs, knowing the backstory makes the music more meaningful. This connection demonstrates how understanding someone's past adds layers of empathy and appreciation to our perception of them. To incorporate this perspective in daily life, consider these strategies. 1. Ask thoughtful questions. When someone's actions seem puzzling, try asking questions to understand rather than to judge. For instance, instead of asking, "Why don't you trust people easily?" try, "Has something shaped the way you approach new relationships?" 2. Observe repeated behaviors. If someone frequently reacts in a particular way, consider what past experience might explain that pattern. This understanding helps in responding with patience. 3. Approach with non-judgmental curiosity. Instead of interpreting behavior as solely a personality flaw, try viewing it as part of a larger story. This approach creates space for meaningful dialogue and support. Many influential leaders have embraced this concept to better understand and connect with those they lead. Nelson Mandela famously promoted reconciliation after apartheid by understanding the painful histories of all involved. His ability to consider the traumas of both the oppressed and their oppressors created an environment for healing and progress, proving that considering the past can lead to profound change and unity. Howard Schultz, former CEO of Starbucks, grew up in poverty, which influenced his commitment to employee welfare. By recognizing the struggles faced by many employees, he introduced benefits like healthcare for part-time workers, bridging the gap between corporate success and social responsibility. Schultz's understanding of his own past inspired a more empathetic approach to leadership, transforming Starbucks into a company that prioritizes its people. The practice of using the past as a lens extends beyond relationships with others. It also fosters self-awareness and personal growth. Reflecting on one's own history can illuminate patterns that may need attention, offering a roadmap for healthier interactions. 1. Identify personal triggers. Reflect on moments that bring out strong emotions and consider if they're linked to past experiences. This self-awareness helps avoid projecting past hurts onto current situations. 2. Adapt responses based on understanding. If someone's guarded demeanor reminds you of a personal experience with distrust, use this as an opportunity to create a safe and patient space for them. 3. Recognize growth opportunities. Observing patterns within yourself and others can reveal areas for improvement, fostering a mindset of continuous personal development. Using the past as a lens to understand others allows us to interact with genuine empathy and build relationships on trust and patience. By recognizing that everyone's behavior is shaped by a unique history, we approach conversations with more compassion and understanding. This perspective not only enhances personal connections but also enables us to grow, both as individuals and as members of a larger community. Part 4. The power of nonverbal cues. Nonverbal cues are an integral part of human communication, often revealing more about a person than their words. These cues include gestures, posture, facial expressions, and unwatched behaviors, those moments when individuals act without considering that others are observing. These unguarded actions provide a raw, unfiltered insight into a person's true character and values, making them a powerful tool for understanding others. People often perform under societal expectations in public settings, presenting a polished or curated version of themselves. However, it is in their unwatched moments, when no recognition or judgment is anticipated, that their genuine nature is most evident. These instances reveal a person's values, empathy, and priorities in ways that words or calculated gestures cannot. A well-documented example comes from the late Princess Diana. Known for her public acts of compassion, her off-camera moments often solidified her reputation as the people's princess. Stories abound of her interacting warmly with hospital staff and volunteers in settings far from media scrutiny. These unpublicized actions reflected her authentic kindness and empathy, qualities that endeared her to millions. The seemingly insignificant actions people take in everyday life often reflect their character. For example, consider how someone treats service staff, such as waiters or janitors. Politeness and genuine appreciation in these interactions suggest humility and respect for others, regardless of social status. Warren Buffett, one of the world's most successful investors, is often noted for his unpretentious demeanor. Despite his immense wealth, Buffett's everyday actions, like treating employees and service providers with respect, speak volumes about his humility. Such behaviors demonstrate that power and wealth do not have to come at the expense of decency. How someone behaves toward animals, children, or the elderly can reveal their level of empathy. These groups often rely on the goodwill of others, making interactions with them a strong indicator of genuine kindness or lack thereof. Keanu Reeves is frequently praised for his considerate gestures, such as giving up his subway seat to someone in need or speaking kindly to fans and crew members. These small, spontaneous acts, often caught on video without his knowledge, highlight his grounded and compassionate character. In professional settings, nonverbal cues also play a significant role. Acts like cleaning up after oneself in a shared space or refilling the office coffee pot may seem trivial but reveal a lot about a person's attitude toward teamwork and shared responsibility. In an office environment, a colleague who consistently refills the coffee pot or tidies up after meetings shows an innate sense of responsibility and consideration for others. These actions are often unnoticed but contribute significantly to the team's morale and cohesion. Such individuals often gain the trust and respect of peers because their behavior reflects reliability and thoughtfulness. In high-pressure scenarios, unwatched behaviors can have significant implications. For instance, during tense diplomatic negotiations, nonverbal cues can provide critical insights into a leader's true intentions or state of mind. During the Cold War, President John F. Kennedy's ability to read subtle nonverbal cues played a key role in managing the Cuban Missile Crisis. Observing Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev's body language and demeanor helped Kennedy gauge Khrushchev's willingness to negotiate, ultimately leading to a resolution that averted nuclear conflict. For leaders, unwatched moments can either bolster or undermine their public persona. Actions taken when no one appears to be looking often define their legacy more than carefully curated public appearances. Richard Branson, founder of Virgin Group, is known for his genuine interest in the well-being of his employees. Numerous anecdotes describe him stopping to chat with staff, regardless of their position in the company, and remembering personal details about them. These unguarded, sincere interactions build loyalty and reinforce his reputation as a compassionate leader. Practical applications of observing nonverbal cues. 1. Pay attention to everyday interactions. Observing how someone treats people who have no power over them, like waitstaff or receptionists, can offer valuable insights into their character. 2. Look for patterns, not isolated incidents. A single act of kindness or rudeness may not paint the full picture. Instead, focus on repeated behaviors to discern genuine traits. 3. Observe in stressful or unscripted situations. People's true nature often emerges during moments of stress or when they believe no one is watching. Genuine character shines through in consistent behavior. Someone who exhibits thoughtfulness and integrity, even in small, unnoticed moments, is likely to bring those qualities to larger, more visible situations. Gates, though one of the wealthiest individuals in the world, is known for his humble demeanor and dedication to philanthropy. Stories about him standing in line for fast food or cleaning up his own table reflect his consistent values of simplicity and respect. Nonverbal cues must be interpreted in context. For example, crossed arms might suggest defensiveness in a heated discussion but could simply indicate someone is cold in another setting. To accurately read nonverbal communication, consider the environment, cultural norms, and accompanying verbal cues. Unwatched behaviors and nonverbal cues provide invaluable insights into character. From small, everyday gestures to actions in high-pressure situations, these unguarded moments reveal a person's authentic self. By honing our ability to observe and interpret these cues, we can foster deeper connections, build trust, and make more informed decisions about the people we interact with. In a world where words can be crafted to deceive, nonverbal actions often tell the truest story. Part 5. The role of humor in connection. Humor is one of the most powerful tools for building rapport and easing tension in social interactions. It can diffuse conflicts, foster camaraderie, and create a sense of shared understanding. However, humor is a double-edged sword. When used appropriately, it strengthens bonds. When overused or misapplied, it can signal avoidance, discomfort, or even manipulation. Humor, when used tactfully, creates an environment of openness. It helps people feel at ease and fosters a sense of connection that transcends formal barriers. Barack Obama's presidency provides a great example of humor as a tool for connection. Known for his wit, Obama frequently used humor in speeches and interviews to disarm critics and build rapport. For instance, his jokes during White House Correspondents' dinners often showcased his ability to laugh at himself, which humanized him and made his audience feel closer to him. These moments helped him connect with both allies and opponents. While humor is often constructive, Over-reliance on it can be a defense mechanism to mask deeper anxieties or insecurities. People may use jokes to deflect attention from uncomfortable truths or to avoid vulnerability. A close friend of mine constantly made jokes about their career struggles, downplaying their challenges with humor. At first, I laughed along, assuming they were simply lighthearted. Over time, I noticed that their jokes often avoided addressing real concerns. By acknowledging their humor while gently probing deeper, I discovered they were grappling with severe career anxiety. Offering support without dismissing their humor helped create a safe space for them to open up. Balancing levity with genuine care. Humor can backfire if it is misinterpreted or used insensitively. For example, sarcasm might be seen as dismissive, while excessive joking during serious moments can come across as disrespectful. Elon Musk, known for his sharp wit on social media, has faced criticism for jokes that some perceived as tone-deaf. While his humor often resonates with fans, it has occasionally caused friction, such as during discussions about sensitive topics like workplace culture at Tesla. This highlights the importance of balancing humor with mindfulness of context. Part 6. Promises. Follow-through and trust. A promise is more than just a verbal commitment, it's a measure of reliability and integrity. Keeping promises builds trust, while breaking them undermines relationships, whether personal or professional. Following through on commitments demonstrates respect for others' time and effort. It signifies that a person values the trust placed in them and is willing to uphold their responsibilities. In a volunteer project I participated in, one individual consistently followed through on their promises, whether it was coordinating logistics or ensuring deadlines were met. Their reliability became a cornerstone of the team's success. Their actions not only inspired trust but also motivated others to step up and fulfill their roles. This ripple effect of dependability elevated the group's overall performance. When promises are not kept, it creates a ripple effect of disappointment and mistrust. This damage can be especially severe in leadership roles, where reliability is crucial. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson faced criticism for not delivering on certain Brexit promises, while his leadership maintained strong support from some quarters. Broken commitments eroded trust among others, highlighting how unmet expectations can fracture relationships and reputations. Trust is not just about making promises, it's about being accountable when circumstances change. If a commitment cannot be honored, transparent communication and efforts to make amends can preserve trust. Tim Cook, Apple's CEO, has consistently emphasized the importance of transparency with stakeholders. During product delays or challenges, Apple communicates openly with customers and shareholders, reinforcing the company's credibility. This accountability strengthens trust, even when promises need to be adjusted. Part 7. Emotional reactions and their meaning. Emotional reactions are like windows into the soul, offering insights into what truly matters to a person. By observing these reactions, we can better understand someone's priorities, values, and underlying motivations. When someone displays a strong emotional reaction, whether enthusiasm, frustration, or sadness, it often points to something deeply important to them. These reactions provide a roadmap for understanding their core beliefs. During a heated family debate about preserving holiday traditions, one family member became visibly frustrated, raising their voice and gesturing emphatically, while their reaction seemed disproportionate. Further discussion revealed that these traditions were tied to childhood memories and a sense of identity. Understanding this deeper connection led to a compromise that respected their values while accommodating others' preferences. Understanding and responding appropriately to emotional reactions requires emotional intelligence. Recognizing that strong emotions often stem from unmet needs or deeply held values allows us to engage constructively. During the aftermath of the 9/11 attacks, Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani demonstrated exceptional emotional intelligence. He addressed the city with empathy, validating the collective grief and anger while channeling those emotions into unity and resilience. His ability to acknowledge and respond to strong emotions strengthened his connection with the public during a time of crisis. In professional settings, emotional reactions can highlight what motivates employees or what concerns them most. Leaders who observe and respond to these reactions foster a culture of trust and mutual respect. Indra Nooyi, former CEO of PepsiCo, was known for her ability to connect emotionally with employees. When an employee showed frustration over a policy change, Nooyi didn't dismiss their concerns. Instead, she engaged them in a conversation to understand their perspective, using their feedback to improve the company's approach. This attentiveness built trust and loyalty within her team. Practical applications. 1. Recognize emotional triggers. Pay attention to what evokes strong emotional responses, as these moments often reveal core values or fears. 2. Respond with empathy rather than reacting defensively. Approach emotional reactions with curiosity and compassion. 3. Balance humor and sensitivity. Use humor to diffuse tension but avoid minimizing or ignoring important emotions. These elements, humor, follow-through, and emotional awareness, intertwine to shape meaningful relationships. Humor fosters connection, promises build trust, and emotional reactions guide understanding. By mastering these aspects, we not only strengthen our relationships but also gain deeper insights into ourselves and others. Whether in personal interactions or global leadership, these tools are invaluable for creating a foundation of trust and connection. You now hold a powerful set of tools to decode the silent language of human interaction, from the hidden signals and body language to the truths behind emotional reactions. But remember, understanding others begins with understanding yourself. How can you use this knowledge to enrich your relationships, resolve conflicts, or simply connect on a deeper level? If you found value in this journey, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Krathen for more insights that transform the way you see the world and yourself. Join us next time as we dive even deeper into the mysteries of human connection. Until then, stay curious and keep unlocking the unseen.